Today we're going to be discussing some problems that I've been seeing within the reptile hobby. Stick around.
My name is Nick Pulaski. Growing up, I have always had a passion for wildlife, and with that passion, along with my passion of filmmaking, I get taken on some amazing adventures creating wildlife content, getting up close with a variety of incredible animals. So come follow along as I pursue my goals of educating, inspiring, exploring, and conserving wildlife, all while having fun, seeing the beauty in our natural world.
Oh boy, you are a handful. What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here today. As you can see, I am with my big boy here, Eddie, and like I said, he is becoming quite the handful for sure, but I love this boy to death. He is a phenomenal snake for sure. Just puppy dog tame, and I can't get over him for sure. We're not just talking about him today. We're going to be talking about reptile keepers and reptile keeping in general. Really, the big topic today is how we as reptile keepers really need to be a united front. And I've been seeing so often recently, and really throughout the years, but I mean, it's becoming a little bit more prominent, I guess. I've just kind of been on social media a little bit more recently. I've had a little bit more downtime to kind of check things out, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing for the most part. It's a lot of people that are just reaching out. They may not have the best setup, they may not be displaying the best care, but they're coming for answers. They're coming with their questions, they're coming with their concerns. They're trying to do better. And I see people just cussing them out. I see people just bashing them, really just making them feel like garbage. And I understand that they are not necessarily keeping the animal in the best way. Now, I totally get it. People should be doing their research, and I'm sure in some sort of way or another they are. Maybe it's just there's a lot of old school research out there. A lot of people are keeping things in certain ways that are from way long ago. Maybe they got some bad advice from a pet store, from someone that's really good at making a sale. You know, I've seen those things, but people don't understand that perspective, right? They see someone with a bad setup and they're like, oh, immediately, let's bash this person. Let's just really make them feel bad and really just put them down, so that essentially you just hear nothing back from them. They go quiet, they feel too vulnerable to reach out to ask another question that they may have with the animal or what they should do with their animal, and the animal at the end of the day will suffer even more than they potentially could be already because they are not getting the proper advice that they require. I know I've talked about this in the past. This isn't something necessarily new, but I mean, this is definitely something that just needs to be brought up more and more because unfortunately I'm going to constantly see these things throughout social media groups, a lot of Facebook groups out there. I mean, a lot of people say that Facebook has a bad rap, and it definitely has gotten worse over the years because the more groups that are out there, the more self-policing that there is in these Facebook groups on who is making the rules in these groups and what is essentially right versus wrong, which could also be wrong at the same token as well too, depending. There's just a lot of outliers out there, unfortunately, in these groups. You have a whole melting pot of people and you have a whole melting pot of opinions, and that can just lead to a lot of problems. I mean, something that might work for others might not work for them, and if it's not their way, it's the highway. There's different things. And I mean, for certain species, I get in. For certain things, yes, there are certain things that need to happen for certain animals. I'm kind of all wrapped up right here. You are really got a hold on my wrist right here, buddy. Certain species, yes, there are certain things that you have to walk a fine line for and make sure that you are doing things properly. But at the same token, there are other things where someone can do something one way, someone can do something another way, and it can be totally the same outcome. But you can't be bashing someone for doing something some way, even if it is something incorrectly. You can't expect to be bashing someone and then have a civil conversation with that kind of response. It's not going to happen whatsoever. You're not going to have a good outcome from it whatsoever. There's very few times where that could ever happen. I really don't see it ever happening, truthfully and honestly. I think that is something that for sure, if you are in a fight with someone and you are just putting them down, there is no way that someone is going to want to trust your advice, let alone reach out again to ask another question or ask for any sort of help whatsoever. And again, the animal will suffer. And really, what is the best response to this? So really, it's tough because a lot of these groups, unfortunately are not going to be seeing this. It's really just important to the people that do view this and really just kind of gain that perspective while they are in these groups. If you are someone that reaches out in these groups and wants to help out with people. You know, it's one of those things where you might see someone that's struggling with something, a care setup, something with the health of their animal, this, that, or the other, and instead of lashing out at them, it's more so better to have a better conversation to get them on the right track, or maybe steer them in the direction of, hey, maybe this isn't the best animal to keep. You know, I mean, those things can happen as well too, and maybe they would agree with that. You know, maybe they bit off more than they could chew in terms of an animal that they didn't realize was going to be like a Burmese python here that's going to grow super, super big and get super, super heavy, have big meals, have to be a big cleanup for these guys as well too, big poops, and it's not going to be for them. So I mean, you know, you just at the end of the day have to make sure that you're being someone that is an advocate for these animals and for the reptile community in a positive light, rather than someone who is going to be a deterrent for people and someone that no one really wants to talk to. At the end of the day, it's also your reputation, right? So I mean, no one's going to be coming to you for advice and want your help if you are someone that's going to be a negative person. So you don't want to do those types of things. You don't want to be that kind of person whatsoever. We all should be striving to do better, be right for the animals, be right to each other, and make sure we're helping one another out. That's the whole goal for my channel personally, is everyone is supposed to be here for each other. The community is great here. I want to make sure that everyone is always reaching out to one another, helping each other out through their problems, including mine and stuff like that too. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that if I don't know the answer to something, I am going to make sure that I get the right answer to something and find proper information from the proper source that is needed for that answer, for sure. I'm not just going to spitfire something and lie to someone whatsoever. That's also very important. So it goes in that route too. So don't feel like you need to have all the answers for something. Make sure that you're giving the proper sources of anything that is needed in terms of advice or care or any sort of direction that you can provide someone. If you do not have the ability to give the proper information or source, make sure you try your best to give that proper source at the end of the day. That's also something that I recommend. But yeah, like I said, guys, it's something that really breaks my heart when I see people constantly getting bashed in these groups, no matter what the species is. I mean, I'm in some of these groups that I don't even have a say in the race. I mean, I'm in chameleon groups, I'm in certain other groups or whatever, and I'm just in there just trying to basically just kind of watch and learn and see cool animals from different people. I mean, I'm hardly on Facebook as it is or anything, but when I am and I'm seeing those types of things constantly happening, that's not a good thing. That's not something that we want to be constantly promoting and doing, is putting these people down whatsoever. It's not right. It's extremely sad at the end of the day. I feel for these people that are going through these struggles and they are just trying to do right and only to be treated wrong. And you know, it's at the end of the day, that's not the proper way to go about things. So we got to do better, guys, at the end of the day. And trust me, guys, when I've seen this, I've seen it go positively. If you do give people the proper information and the proper help that they need, I have seen it go in a positive way where they turn things around for their animal, or they realize for themselves, you know what, maybe this is too much of an animal that I couldn't actually take care of. Rehome an animal to give it a better life than they could ever actually give it in themselves. So I've seen both sides of the cards that have been in a positive light as well too. So it can be done, guys, I assure you. If you give them the proper tools, they will make the decisions from there for sure. The reptile community is small. I mean, I know we have a lot of numbers in us, but I mean, if you think about it in terms of the scheme of things, we are a very small community. And if we're not united on any sort of front, we're going to fall. That's why it's important to support groups like USARC, you know, and be a united front. That's why that's always very important to make sure that we're staying reputable, make sure that we're showing that we can take care of these animals in a proper light, and make sure that we're there for each other as well too. So we don't want to be anything in a negative light. So let's not carry these feelings and this bad blood forward towards anyone else that's trying to get into our hobby, because people that are coming into our hobby are the people that we want to help grow this community, and we want to make sure people are coming into this community with open, welcome arms in the proper sense. Yes, they may be coming in with their problems. Yes, they may be coming in with their issues with their animals, but going at them at a negative tone is not going to help solve anything whatsoever. It's only going to end with someone just ignoring the other person and basically just ending the conversation there without getting to an answer for the problem at hand. That is something that we want to try to avoid and make sure that we're problem solving rather than problem giving. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here really quick and talk about that. I feel like that's a very important point, and I want to know about you guys. What do you guys personally feel about this topic? Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your insights, so definitely leave your comments down below. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around for this video. This is definitely an important topic that I just really on the fly had to make. I felt that it was important to make this video sooner rather than later because this is something that I see constantly going on, and I really want this to be something that is lessened rather than something that's increasing in our industry as well. So get out there no matter where you are. It could be in person, could be online, no matter what. Get out there and do right for these animals and do right for each other. But overall, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you guys could do me a few favors, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, as well as hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Definitely check us out on our social media as well too. I'll be posting some updates there as well, so definitely check us out there. Otherwise, guys, like always, I appreciate you guys. We're all in here together to learn and appreciate reptiles and the animals around us that we personally love and care for, like Eddie here. He's a great animal for sure. I love this dude to death. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and until next time, I will see you guys soon. Take care.